Gary here from GT Adventures. Great to have you along. Those of you who've been to my channel before, you'll notice I've changed the name from Kiwi Fly Fisherman to GT Adventures. Kind of more representative about what I'm all about, getting you out into some adventures. In this trip, we're going to have a kayak camping and fishing adventure. Behind me is my kayak, the Sparrowhawk 360 or 3.6 meters. I'll tell you a bit more about that kayak later. It's got good load capacity, and I've managed to bring in all that I need for 3 nights at this beautiful Molesworth lake. So Steve's gone that way, back towards where the cars are parked. I'm going to put the kayak in and just cruise along the sides here, just flicking the fly out there, just enjoying this beautiful scenery. So, thanks again for joining GT Adventures. Hope you enjoy this video, this episode. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to. If you just want to check it out and see what it's all about, you're more than welcome. And hope to bring you a lot more adventures, whether it's car camping, fly fishing, spin fishing. Steve says it's illegal fishing methods. Tramping, camping, car camping, tailgate car camping. I've got a nice tailgate awning. Yeah, all sorts of kind of just getting outside and enjoying kind of activities. And many times I'll be taking my trusty Sage Z-axis fly fishing rod to see if we can tangle with a couple of trout. And I'm out here with my mate Steve. His setup is behind us there as well. So thanks for coming along. We hope to show you a few things about kayak camping and a little bit of fishing as well, guys. Nice to see you. So I'm standing underneath my 4x3 meter tarp. Steve kind of customized this a bit for me. It was a 4x4 meter or 4x6 meter, and we cut 2 tarps out of it, and his stitching skills have come into play. So I'm standing under this lovely coverage here. I've got my DD Travel bivy hammock behind me with an underquilt from One Tigress. I've got a quilt inside there, down quilt, kind of down to 0, and I've got all that I need. I've got my little wee Trangia 27, an awesome thing to have. A little table that's Steve fashioned the top, and I've screwed it onto a tripod. So I've got all that I need here, guys, to be comfortable under that tarp. We did have rain last night, so you might see a bit of raindrops still on the tarp here. But good coverage meant no dramas underneath here. Toiletry bag back there. And lots of tie-out points here, as you can see. I've got a little rubber mat there just to kind of clean your feet off before you get in, and lots of waterproof bags. I've got a thermos cooler box chili bin back there, a nice comfortable chair here. As I said, my toiletry bag in here. I've also got my binoculars, my toothbrush, toothpaste, etc., guys. There's Steve's setup. He's got the Haven hammock. It's kind of that level hammock. Interesting setup he's got there, and I think a 3.5 by 3.5 tarp. So all in all, just a great setup that we've got going on here. And we're up here for another couple nights, tonight and Saturday night. I use the Sea to Summit, by the way. This Sea to Summit shower, I use it for water. It's just a great water repository. Filled it up with about 5 liters of water from the stream just next to us here. So thanks again for joining GT Adventures, Gary Taylor Adventures, along on this adventure, hoping to show you a little bit more about what do I bring along, what do I do when I come out kayak camping in the Kiwi backcountry. And what a perler of a day. We've had none less than 6 fly fishermen come past here about 40 minutes ago. I think they were guided by someone. They headed around to the top of the lake. I see they're all speckled along the top. The inflow where kind of most of the action can happen. But right now, I mean, we've been having action all along here with risers. It's been great. Wow, man, it's spectacular out here today. So we've got some big cloud development. Don't know if you can see that up there. But she's cleared up. She was very misty this morning out here on the lake. and it's just slowly but surely opened up to this beautiful day. Give you a bit of a closer look at my lovely Dream kayaks. It's an Aussie brand. I don't know if you can still get them in New Zealand. Dream kayaks brand, and it's a Sparrowhawk 360, so 3.6 meters. I'll take you in from the back. One of the downsides of Sparrowhawk, it doesn't come with a already established rudder, so my mate Steve, being the engineer that he is, he kind of attached this to the handle at the back here. Very clever, just a nice piece of metal there, and we've attached the rudder there with just some straps going through. Good storage area at the back here, and we've also got a nice hatch over here. This hatch always has my little wee first aid kit, also some fire starting equipment in there, and in here tools. So I've got my little wee pouch. Yeah, I've got the smaller ones to fit in there. I've got the bigger ones to fit in here. I did have to attach this the other day, so really handy. And then just some spare stuff in here. Hey, I'll show you what's in there. So heaps of space in there, guys. You can fit quite a bit in there. In here, just extra kind of, that's to fix a tent pole if it breaks, some duct tape, extra cordage, some extra scuppers. These are always handy to have. Some real tough sealant, so if you do get a leak, you can seal this up like Gorilla Tape. It's really strong. Yeah. Moving further forward, we've got the stadium chair with the two settings, and on the chair I always attach my knife. We've got also this little doofer here. This is something to cut yourself free if you tip over. Need to have that. And then just some fishing gadgets. Obviously the leash attached here for the paddle, which is nicely secured to the kayak there. It's got rod holders. I put the net in that one there, and again the net is attached again if you follow it around to this front part of the seat here. Another rod holder here, another rod holder here that I use mostly for my fly rod. So I've got this little rubber mat that dampers the sound inside the kayak when you're fishing, because you don't want to alert or spook the fish. I do have another rod holder that goes in there. There I can put a rod holder on, or I can put this thing here, which is really just a extendable camera holder. So that's your stadium seat there. Moving forwards, you can see the scupper holes here and the rails. It's got two good rails on each side. It did come with a rudder mount for your feet, but I've swapped it out for something that can control the rudder at the back. It just had kind of foot holders, something to put your drink bottle in there. And then this is awesome. This front hatch kind of secures nicely here, as you can see. Lots of space. This is where I put that stadium chair back there. Folds up and it goes all the way in back there. Lots of space, guys. I put my Trangia 27 goes in here, and usually I'll just leave this little absorbent just cleaning it out at the moment. Usually leave this absorbent rag in the front here, because yeah, there's a bit of leaking here. I probably need to replace the seals, not a lot, but there's a bit of leaking that gets in there. And then you've got the holder in front where you can lift it up there, a runoff for water here and there, and she certainly cuts through the water quite nicely. Hey, got some snacks, caramelized onion and vinaigrette cashews, This is a no sugar added dark chocolate. So those two, and I've got all this going into this waterproof bag here that I'll put in the front hatch of the kayak. So snacks go in there. I've got a windproof outdoors research beanie. That thing is awesome. A few camera gear, electronics in there. A little survival bag. I'll show you what's in this. Right, what we got in here all goes inside this little wee bag, which I keep in my fly fishing vest. I've got a waterproof bag in there. Inside of that waterproof bag I keep these little S-bits. They are solid fuel tablets. I keep a mirror, which is kind of handy, signaling. I've got a little torch. I've got a knife on here, a little blade that you can deploy with one hand in case you've broken your kind of hand or other hand. A flint there, handy. Storm matches, very handy, with cotton wool bud with a bit of petroleum jelly in there. That's a sealed straw, but inside of that, just melt it off on the ends. Inside of that, again, cotton wool, petroleum jelly. A tampon, always easy to strike a flint and steel on that and get something going. This is a Survive Outdoors longer survival kind of bag that I've put some attachment points on the ends. You can see in another video when I've actually slept under this quite comfortably. This will be the shelter. It's got tie-out points, super lightweight. And this is another one of those, but it's just inside of its little wee bag here. This little bag has also got a whistle on it. Oh yeah, there's a whistle on the Survive Outdoors longer wee survival knife as well. That one's maybe a bit louder. So inside the Survive Outdoors bag, yep, there we go. You can see it's like a mylar blanket, but it's not one of those that tears easily. It's got some stretch to it. So that'll be what you sleep in. Guys, it's not going to be the most comfortable night, but you will survive. Sleep in that, under that, have a fire. Extra cordage, always helpful. So that, folks, is what I pack always in my little fly fishing bag when I go fly fishing, especially by myself. Never know when you're up a river somewhere quite a long way away from your camp and something happens. Well, with that, I could survive. Any comments? Let me know what you think of that kit. Some people have put some peanut butter and stuff in there so you can at least eat and get some energy up. That's not a silly idea. Just replenish that every now and then. But usually I'm carrying some nibbles and stuff when I go fishing. So that's my little wee Survive Outdoors kind of survival bag. And obviously the mirror there is good for signaling if anybody comes and looks for you after a few days. Always remember to give your intentions, right? Leave your intentions. There's a website where you can actually upload your intentions. Steve and I leave it with our spouses, so they know where we're going, when we're going in, and when we're coming out. So that'll let me survive safely overnight. Other stuff, always like a bit of a warm jacket. That's a Primaloft one, so it can get wet and will retain its heat. Also, I've got a good old jacket there. And of course, never leave home without the big wide brim hat. This one is the Swazi waterproof wide brim hat. So those will go in the front of the kayak. Obviously also take my polarized sunglasses along, and today looks like it's going to be quite hot, so SPF 50, take some sunblock along. So guys, I think that's going to see me set up. Before I forget, hydrate or die, hydration. Electrolytes in one of those and just normal water in the other. So let's get out there. So guys, you can see the campsite behind me there. I've just paddled out maybe 20 meters. Nice drop off just here. Often you'll see the trout cruising along here. On a day like this, you just go slow, mate. You just enjoy. And usually good fishing along the drop off where there's a bank, there's the bush, It's just stunning out here. There's a number of boats out here today. There was even a jet skier before. So Steve's gone back up that way. That's the head of the lake up there. A lot of people were here when we came through, so it's a popular place just to pull up and camp there. I was thinking about earlier, you know, the Kiwi fly fishing name, people would kind of often expect to see fly fishing only, and then they'd get spin fishing, illegal fishing methods, as Steve calls it. You know, you'd get tramping, camping. Hey, little guy jumped up just in front there. And then I'd do kayak camping. You know, I'd go on trips that I wasn't fishing. So I think GT Gary Taylor Adventures is a bit more representative of what I want to see this channel all about. Taking you along on some of these amazing adventures where you get to experience some of the places I'm blessed to get out to. And yeah, so whether it's car camping, tramping, camping, just a bit of kayak camping, just any adventures. I've even been down the Avon River, I've been out to Quail Island. All those videos are somewhere in the mix there. I don't think I've made a video of Avon down the Avon River. But yeah, you'll see all sorts of adventures, and I'll try and give you an insight as to what do I pack and why do I pack the gear that I pack for my trips. I'm fortunate to have some good gear, so if the weather turns, and it often does, it did yesterday, the wind hammered through here from about midday, and it was a big paddle to get back to the campsite. So you've got to be prepared, and you've got to usually just take a bit of gear in case it turns nasty. So we've got a few risers. There's a bit stuff going on just here. Maybe 20 meters off the kayak, could be worth putting a fly out there. Otherwise, just soaking up this awesome place. Wow. And years ago, Steve and I and his son Lockie, we went up Mount McCabe up there. We accessed from that side of the lake. It's a bit of a puff and billy if you're not fit, eh? I was reasonably fit then, but geez, still a bit of a puff up the hill. But yeah, stunning views from up there. And I think it's Princess Bath just beyond that. I'd love to go and wild camp up there. May take you on one of those adventures up there one day. But right now, just enjoying, man. And these little pesky critters, let me see if I can show you. Sandflies, I've just squished that one. Sandflies are all over here. So this buff says three roles this buff plays. 1, protect against the sun. 2, protect against sandflies. And 3, it is actually warm. So it does protect you when you're sleeping or you want to have your head covered. And I got the old Swazi waterproof hat that I'm wearing today. Nice wide brim hat to protect against the sun. There we go. I think they're pulling a biscuit behind there, guys. Thank goodness they're on that side of the lake. Anyway, let's head off this way, hey? Let's see how we get on. Right, how do I keep my fish fresh when I've caught them from the kayak? Here we go, just a nice little stringer. Ideal, you don't want the line too long so they can get tangled up in the weeds. Lovely little brownies. I've just put the green beetle out there near where that rise was. But certainly the rises have slowed down since this morning, eh? And obviously primo fishing time just before, like first light just before dawn and just after sunset, that dusk period. I've managed to get the stand-up paddleboard sail. It's got a little wee window in it, so if you want to you can secure it, and then you've got a bit of a sail. Today you ain't needing a sail at all, there's no wind, but it changes very quickly in the back country. Okay guys, there we go, you can see through the window. I can feel the tug here. So I've got a wee carabiner here that I can attach and then hands free. So a real nice way to cruise back, is to have this sail up. As I said, I think it's made for a paddleboard, so it's a bit bigger than the one Steve's got. Got it connected with a carabiner here, so I guess if the wind picks up I can go hands free, I can use the paddle still. Yeah, something different. It's obviously got the little window there so you can see where you're going. Kind of cool, eh? Campers! Look man, no hands! That's so nice, eh? Sure I'm going the right direction. Oh, that's awesome. Unlike a conventional sail, you can't actually sail or tack into the wind with this thing. It's kind of more like just with the tailwind, or slightly offset, maybe 15 degrees or so offset behind you, or slightly off to the side. I know Steve has used his one from where we've put in, no paddle, I kid you not, all the way to the campsite. He has used his little one. My one's slightly bigger. I think this one's made more for a stand-up paddleboard. But yeah, I haven't used it very often because it's kind of not big paddling, maybe 40 minutes paddle to the campsite. So yeah, obviously your hammock, your tarp, your underquilt, your duvet or quilt or your sleeping bag, all of those goodies. I've even got a smart pillow. Yeah, all to make sure that you can get out and have an adventure and return home safely to your whānau, your families. We do want to return home safely, guys. And the number one threat, I think, in New Zealand, coming from South Africa where you got the big five, I think the real threat in New Zealand is the weather. I've lived here now for 27 years, and I've seen temperatures drop 10, I kid you not, 10-15 degrees Celsius in about half an hour, mate. From just short sleeve shirt to needing to rug up and really have some good weatherproof gear. And if you don't, well, hypothermia is just a one step away. And every year, sadly, in New Zealand, trampers get caught out not being well equipped for the adventures. So I will try and give you my 2 cents worth of advice. I'm not a professional guide, but I certainly have been out in the wilderness, growing up in a farm in Africa. I've been out in the wilderness ever since I can remember, 50 plus years. let's keep it at that, shall we? And here in New Zealand, 27 years. I'm not really familiar with the tops above the bushline there. I've not spent a lot of time above the alpine bushline where Yale, Tar and Chamois kind of hang out. But certainly anything in the bushline, along the rivers and the lakes. Yeah. So, things to look forward to on the channel. Yeah, a bit more camping, fishing, kayaking, and help with how to cross rivers, braided rivers, where to cross, when to cross, why not to cross. I think I've got a sandfly in my trousers. Man, these sandflies are pesky, eh? And you can spray stuff, but I prefer not spraying anything on, just cover up, so they bite me on my fingertips or between the glove and the line there. They bite me sometimes in the gaps around my buff here. They are seriously pesky. Today I don't have socks on, so they'll look for a spot there, they'll bite me there. I've just got my aqua slippers on. Steve's usually got a good Orvis, what do we call it? His big waders. I think they come up to his chest high waders, fully breathable waders, and his boots. So he's kind of well protected there. Man, it's a primo day. Look at it. It's just glassing off again. You can hear the cicadas. I haven't really tried cicadas. A big old cicada out there later on might be good. But you can see the tussock here, the kiwi tussock. Another hazard is slipping on this tussock. It gets kind of slippery, guys. Especially in winter time. You get that dew, you get the snow and the moisture on that tussock, and people have kind of slipped and fallen down and kind of broken ankles and legs and all sorts of nasties. When I go by myself, I do borrow Steve's EPIRB locator beacon, but usually it's Steve and I out together and he'll have the EPIRB with him. Sometimes we'll have the radios to talk to one another if it's a bigger lake like Lake Coleridge. But yeah, just enjoying this trip. Good to have you along. What's that one again, Steve?
Chicken korma.
Chicken korma. Righty, morning, campers. We've got onion, tomato, cherry tomatoes, bit of chorizo. We're going to add some cream and egg and a bit of cheese, and that's my Swiss egg for breakfast. Gary's modified Swiss egg.
Darkness at the lake.
Well, good morning, everyone. Hope you're alright today. Today is our last day, full day at least. We're heading out tomorrow. I thought I might just show you around the campsite. I've got porch mode up, as Steve and I call it. Porch mode means kind of just bringing the front of the tarp up so you can soak up all those beautiful views. Looking a bit messy in there at the moment. I've had a good breakfast. You can see my quilt under there, and that one tigress under quilt keeping me nice and warm. This little table is excellent just to cook your breakfast and do all your goodies. Yeah, lots of coverage here. You can see we had rain last night, so you can actually see the rain line where the rain came down. Everything underneath there is dry as a bone. Again, you can see the rain line along here, just where the tarp kind of gave you the coverage. So today Steve's headed off to fish the top end of the lake. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I may go out and join him. But being our last full day here, hey, it's just nice to set a slow pace today, guys. A few risers around. I don't know, I might just take a wander around the side here and fish a bit. I might just chill. There's definitely a nor'wester at the top side there that's blowing. Steve chugging along there. Making good time. One thing I like doing on these adventures is when I'm not using my kayak, try and put it under the shade, you know, where it's less exposed to the sun. New Zealand sun is harsh and it really does kind of chew up things, so the longer you can kind of leave stuff, in this case just under a bit of shelter cover here, yeah, it just helps the rubber and everything else from not perishing as fast. Man, there's still risers out here, hey? Like little raindrops. Suspect it's the midges. Yeah. So you too could head out and have a nice adventure like this. Oops. Obviously if you have a kayak it makes it a lot easier. And if you have a kayak that can load some gear, then you can enjoy something like what we're doing here, 2-3 nights. Just lovely out in the back country. Lots of grub that keeps us sustained and all sorts. Good gear so we don't get wet. Yeah. Always make sure you've got a nice warm layer, and I've also got an under crag hoppers, kind of just a thin fleece line and merino. So with all those layers you'll be fine. I've got another beanie, protect the head, and this is mandatory, like the buff, because I tell you what, these sandflies. The sandflies can be really pesky out here. But this certainly helps protect most areas. Fingertips are prone to get bitten. Few rises this morning. Got the old Twilight Beauty out there.
Oh, there's some more fishy behaviour.
We're having green Thai curry with venison medallions, chopped up courgettes. We've got some bell pepper, we've got some carrots and onions, and there's some chilies in there. And this street kitchen is very, very yummy. Because there's too much in here, I've got some for tomorrow as well. Oh my gosh. This is what makes these adventures so special. Moments like this, you just look across the lake. It's just beautiful. Look up towards those big mountains. I think that's Princess Peak or Mount Princess up there. Right up that headwaters of the Clarence Valley. It is stunning. Alright, the sun is setting on another GT adventure. Wow, thanks for joining us everybody. Steve and I'll head off tomorrow morning quite early, so I'll be signing out. Hope you found this video helpful. If you're planning your next adventure, you don't need a hammock. It's a bit fidgety at the start. Yeah, you got to get under quilt, and you got to sort out the ridge line, and yeah, the bug net and the hammock straps, and the list goes on. But just getting a tent, getting a nice kayak, and getting out there, guys and girls. So thanks again for joining Gary here at the GT Adventures, and God willing we'll be out in this beautiful place again at some point in the future. Right, time to head in here, guys. Tuck in for the night. See you in the morrow. And it's fully loaded to kayak back out. Starting at the front here, we've got the front hatch well sealed, but there's all sorts in there, of course. We've got your Trangier cook kit, all my tarp attachment points, a few other goodies like my Crocs and such like. Coming down, some water. My tarp's always ready here in case I want a quick deploy. When I get there and it's raining, for example. Seat underneath there, I got some rubbish, leftover tins of drinks, all the rubbish in there in an old sealable chicken bag. Behind the seat, I've got the sail attached there. Won't be using that because we're into headwind today. And the net, of course, secured. The thermos, which is an amazing thermos to keep the food and stuff in, with one ice brick that's no longer frozen. Cedar Summit event dry bag, and another dry bag there from Kathmandu. So guys, the rudder, there she is. And it's a beautiful morning to paddle home. Check it out. I think we set off at about 7:15 this morning into a little southerly breeze. Nothing too serious, thankfully. There you can see a nice view of our campsite, guys, and what's happening on behind it there. Going on behind. This is still the natural Kiwi kind of beach forest here. Lemon possums last night. I had a go at our flippin' shovel that we use. We call him Doug. And the possum bit the blimmin' shovel handle. Would you believe it? It's a hard rubber shovel handle. And why would they do that? I don't know. If anybody knows, let us know in the comments. Steve reckons maybe a taste of some of our good curry we've made before on the handle. But yeah, that's annoying because it's damaged the handle a wee bit now. I'm always mindful of a fly rod, that they come and chomp the cork on the fly rod. It has happened to me once before. Yeah, so there are possum around here, but otherwise just maybe some deer, the odd little rodents maybe. Oh, that's a beautiful brown trout. Keep him in the water so he can get his gills hydrated. That is probably a good 4-pounder plus. One of the best parts of fly fishing is you can let these guys go. There we go, dude. What a beautiful fish. Yes, man. What a beautiful fish. Oh, he's a good 4+. Away he goes. Hey, this is the face of a happy angler.